It's so great to be here and celebrate innovation in Israel. I think the way this is set up is we have conversation about startups, about innovation and so forth, and I think you all are leading, so I'll have you all start.
My name is Eran Baniel. I'm the CEO of DouxMatok. We take sugar and we created a platform of more efficient delivery of sugar to the sugar receptors, to the sweet receptors. That way you need half the sugar, but you get the full sugar taste, no aftertaste. And to put it to the test, I thought I'd bring Eric some Nutella, 40% reduced, and that's for you.
Thank you.
Actually, I can't help it, but last night you ended your speech saying that it's probably technology that would assist us all to get to the age of 100.
Yes.
2-3 minutes later, I accompanied Professor Baniel, my father, to receive the prize from Mr. Netanyahu. My father will celebrate 100 years old. He is the inventor in a month.
Yeah, that's incredible. Congratulations.
Thanks. But that was a prophecy.
I've invested in various groups. I'm associated with more than $360 million into 63 Israeli startups. Google has continued to invest heavily in Israel. And I think the core reason is there is no better concentration of talent than this place in terms of a dinner that you want to have or a collective you want to put together. It's something unique about the culture that you all have built, which I admire enormously. So with that, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
What's in your box of tools that you would provide a startup working with very big and powerful and muscly corporations? We are, on the one hand, working with the largest sugar guys and with the largest CPGs.
Right.
How can a startup cope with the difference in culture,
Right.
let's call it nice?
Well, you're being polite. Let's just
Yes.
say that you move fast and they move slow, right? That's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
And historically what happens is a company like yours has a new invention, and 5 years later, the big company signs the contract. So the only way to achieve that, to make that happen, is to get some pressure applied from the marketplace. So the ideal scenario is that your product is available commercially in small quantities, right? Because you know how to make it. And that it creates a market and a demand. And these large companies, people are constantly, well, have you heard about that? Have you heard about that? Why don't you have that? What's wrong with you? And then that creates pressure on them to come to you. The best sales situation is where you don't have to sell the product. You just have to fulfill the demand. Right? So the best scenario is they think your product, like I think your product, is so extraordinary that I'm going to buy this in the United States. Why can't I have it now? Why is it not in my house in California or New York or what have you? Why do I not have it tomorrow? What's wrong that's preventing? Is it a regulation? Is it a lack of supplier? Is it something wrong with the product? But I want it now. Now, why do I want this? Because sugar is poisoning human beings, right? In the sense of the obesity problem and so forth. This might be the solution to saving millions of lives. I don't know, but in Israel, maybe people are healthier, but in America, the obesity epidemic is going to be the #1 killer. And it's all correlated with sugar and sugar use.
Thank you.
So you understand my point, is that if you just sit there and you talk to these nice, pleasant people, nothing will happen. You have to create some form of pressure on the market.
The experience we have is a huge pull from the market. But when it comes to actually putting things into a contract,
Yeah.
we find that the difference in culture between a startup and a heavy CPG or a heavy sugar guys, some of them don't even have an internet site because it's such an old industry, creates some difficulties.
So some years ago, I was doing a contract with a telecommunications company, and I won't say who, and I said, let's get a deal done. And they said, great. And then I talked to the deal person, and he said, it takes typically 18 months to do this deal. And I said, that's why they're losing. Right? If it takes 18 months for a business to make a contract, there's something deeply wrong. From the time they agree to the time they're signed, there's something deeply wrong, or they're regulated in the wrong way. But I think in your case, you don't have enough power to change that. All you can do is use demand to cause pressure on the supply chain and the government as necessary.
How do you see the food tech space partnering with the digital technology space?
Well, food tech is a very big deal. I personally invested some in that area, and I think it'll mostly be in the analytical case. We can basically really prove that the claims that you're describing are really true, and I'm sure they are. And that's a natural partnership, and that will help drive growth in your area.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I hope you get a sense of the power of what's happening here in Israel by the quality and the insight of this extraordinary team. Thank you guys very much.